Yeah, you definitely could. Okay, hi everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome back. So last week we discussed insulin resistance. Today we're going to learn about carbs. So carbs are not the enemy. And we're also going to learn how to build a balanced meal. But before we get started, let's hear how everyone did with last week's challenge. Did anyone try a short walk after meals? You did? Good. How did it feel?
Good.
Feel good?
Wonderful. I drive my husband along one of them.
Good. That's great.
My dog even liked it better because I went further.
Good. See, that's excellent. I'm glad to hear all this.
I had asked last time, I usually do my walks before my meals with my dog. And that seemed to be okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We just say when we do it after the meals, it encourages our muscles to use the energy that we just consumed, you know?
Okay. All right. I did that. 7,000. I've been averaging 7,000 steps a day for walking.
Good catch.
Very good. So last week we also learned what insulin resistance is and why it can develop years before diabetes does. We also talked about movement, how it helps your muscles use the glucose more efficiently. Hopefully you guys remember my sponge demonstration, right? How it showed us how an active muscle is ready to soak up the glucose, but one that's already full is not going to soak up much. So today we're going to build on that foundation. We're going to talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they've gotten a bad rep over the years. People have said things like carbs are bad, you should never eat bread or fruit, but today we're going to clear up some of those myths. Here's the biggest takeaway I want you to remember. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. Your body actually prefers carbohydrates for energy. The key isn't avoiding them. It's choosing healthier carbohydrates, paying attention to your portions, and pairing them with protein, healthy fats, or fiber. By the end of today's class, I want you to feel confident walking into the grocery store, looking at a restaurant menu, or putting a meal together at home. You don't have to be perfect. Just have to use these simple tools I'm giving you, okay? So before we dive in, I want to tell you where we're headed today. By the end of the class, my goal is, like I said, for you to feel more confident about carbohydrates. There's so much conflicting information online, and it's easy to think that all carbs are bad, but it's simply not true. First, we're going to talk about what carbohydrates actually are and why our body needs them. Then we can discuss the difference between simple and complex carbs. You'll learn why some carbs keep us feeling full and energized, while others leave us hungry again quickly. And next I'm going to show you one of my favorite tools for healthy eating. It's the plate method. It's one of the biggest ways to build a balanced meal without counting carbs or calories or points or grams or any of that. If you remember nothing else today, I hope you remember how to build a healthy plate. And we're also going to touch on some healthy snack ideas, because let's be honest, everybody likes to snack, right?
Yeah.
The goal isn't to stop snacking, it's to make sure your snacks work for you instead of against you. So throughout the class, we'll play a few games, we'll look at some real food examples, and hopefully have a little bit of fun. But remember, this isn't about eating perfectly, it's about making better choices most of the time. Okay, so let's talk about what is a carbohydrate? So carbohydrates, they're not the enemy like we said. Your body prefers them for energy. Think about it as the fuel that powers your body, just like gasoline that powers the car. Without fuel, the car doesn't go anywhere. Your body will work the same way. When we eat the carbohydrates, our body breaks them down into glucose, which is simply another name for blood sugar. The glucose then is used by our muscles, our brains, and other organs. So the problem isn't the carbohydrates themselves. The problem is when we eat large portions of them, and we don't have much fiber, protein, or healthy fats to balance that. Today, we're going to learn how to fix that. So think about it like this. If carbohydrates are fuel, why do some seem to keep us full longer, and then some make us hungry later? Let's talk about the difference between simple and complex carbs. Now that we know carbohydrates are our body's preferred fuel, let's talk about the two main types of carbohydrates. Simple. Simple carbs, they're digested very quickly. That means they can rise your blood sugar fast. They often keep us they often don't keep us feeling full very long. So some examples of those are more processed foods on the side over here. Includes candies, sodas, pastries, white bread. Yeah, those are more of your simple carbs that spike the blood sugar. Complex carbs. Now those are different because those contain fiber. And fiber slows the digestion down, which means that our body's going to release glucose more gradually instead of all at once. This is going to help us stay full longer, and it's also going to help support our blood sugar, steadier blood sugar. Think about how you feel after eating a donut for breakfast. You might feel great for a little while, right? But then a couple hours later, you start to feel hungry again. Compare that to a bowl of oatmeal with maybe some walnuts and some berries. Most people will stay satisfied feeling longer eating that oatmeal. Now this doesn't mean you can never have a cake or a piece of cookie or anything like that. Like I said, our goal isn't perfection. It's not labeling foods good as bad. It's simply making sure to choose higher fiber carbohydrates more often instead of the sweeter ones, and save them for an occasional treat. Every healthy meal doesn't have to be perfect. You can make the choice, one better choice a day. You know, make one meal better, that's fine. Those small choices will add up over time. Can anyone give me some examples of some other complex carbs besides vegetables?
I eat couscous and, the other C one, with blank.
Chickpeas?
No, not chickpeas, it starts with a C, couscous and.
Couscous, okay. That's good, yeah.
Another one.
Lentils is another good one. Brown rice, quinoa, those are all good. Quinoa, yeah.
There's a Q.
Those are all really good complex carbs.
Now, if I may ask, what about the brown rice that, comes in the cups, you put them in the microwave for a minute, and then they're ready to go, that's brown rice?
I mean, it's not the best option, but I mean, it's a better option than the white rice.
Okay, or jasmine or about.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thank you.
It's gonna be easier, harder for your body to break down more fiber, so then it's going to be less impact on your blood sugar.
What about, cauliflower rice?
Yeah, that's great.
Or,
That's excellent, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty good, yeah. So now we know that some carbohydrates are better than others, but there's one simple trick that can make carbohydrate a better choice. And this is my favorite, no naked carbs, okay? If you remember one thing from my class, remember this phrase, no naked carbs. I say this all the time because it's easy to remember. A naked carb is simply a carbohydrate that's eaten by itself. So like, an example, an apple, that's a naked carb. Think about an apple, they're healthy, right? I'm not saying don't eat apples, but pair the apple with peanut butter. You have now added a healthy fat and a little protein. This combination is gonna make you feel full longer. So when we talk about no naked carbs, like I'm saying, no naked carb, no carbohydrate alone. Try pairing it with a protein, a healthy fat, or a fiber. Another example, let's see, crackers. How about crackers? Everyone likes crackers, right?
Yeah.
By themselves, they're carbohydrates. But add a piece of cheese to that. Add a little bit of tuna salad or chicken salad to that. You've added protein.
You can even do hummus with it.
Yeah, absolutely, hummus. A banana itself too, right? That's healthy, right? But it's still a carb. Pair it with the protein, Greek yogurt, like we did today. That was great, right? You added protein. Same thing, pretzels. Hummus, pretzels and hummus. Pair it with hummus. These are all things that you can add to make it healthier.
So I can't have my bananas and hummus.
You can, but add yogurt or something, or peanut butter,
Oh no, I can have it with yogurt. I have
oatmeal, something, yeah. So did you notice something? We're not taking the food away. We're making it better.
I know bread is considered a carb. If you pair bread and a banana, is that okay?
Those are two carbs. We're gonna try to add protein.
Banana.
So maybe peanut butter, some nut butter, chia seeds, sprinkle chia seeds on there, something like that.
All right. I just
Yeah.
think what I start the day with.
Yeah, so just think about that and think about what you can add to it to make it more balanced. That's what we're talking about today. So, let's see. Yeah, one thing I never will tell you to stop eating carbohydrates. That's not realistic, and honestly, it's not necessary for most people. Instead, I want you to try to ask yourself one simple question before you eat a snack or a meal. What could I pair this with? Sometimes the answer is peanut butter, sometimes it's cheese, sometimes it's Greek yogurt, handful of nuts. All those will add protein, fiber, or something to balance the meal for you. They'll help you feel full longer, and they'll help support steadier blood sugar. Okay, so let's play a little game. Let's practice together. Tell me, these are naked carbs, right? So let's look at the apple. What do you think we could do to make this apple better?
I dip it in peanut butter.
Peanut butter?
Yeah, or cheese slice.
Beautiful. Yep. Peanut butter, some kind of nut butter. I like that cheese slice. I didn't think about that, but that would be good too. How about the banana? We were just talking about that. What could we do to make the snack better?
I would use the Greek yogurt because I have abundance of that.
Greek yogurt? Yeah, Greek yogurt, peanut butter, even some walnuts. Did you notice there was walnuts in that yogurt too?
Oh, was there?
Yeah, the walnuts give it a little bit of healthy fat.
Oh, I don't
Can you mix them like the strawberries and that?
Yeah, of
strawberries?
course.
Okay.
Absolutely. What else we got down there? Some grapes?
Grapes?
What can we do with grapes?
I don't know, I don't eat them anymore.
More
No.
cheese.
Cheese, I love that. Yes, grapes and cheese, that's classic. You could do some almonds. You could even do some cottage cheese too, you know, like a little bit of cottage cheese.
What kind of cheese? Did you say cottage cheese?
Cottage cheese? You grapes?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I like both of those.
Okay, but if you eat grapes, how many would you eat?
Maybe a
Would you eat a
handful.
whole finger?
No.
9.
Portion size, yep. What else we got up there? Some pretzels. What can make that
That
better?
would be my hummus.
Hummus?
And there's different flavors of hummus too.
There really is. Now they have black bean hummus, carrot hummus, they have all kinds of different
I
hummus.
even tried a chocolate hummus.
That's dessert hummus, that's good, yes. Okay, so some oatmeal. What can we add to our oatmeal?
Raisins,
Raisins?
Walnuts?
Walnuts.
walnuts.
Very nice. Walnuts, chia seeds.
Watermelon and yogurt. Interesting.
Okay. What else we got? Carrots. So carrots are mostly a vegetable, but I'd still like to see you guys pair it with something. So what could we pair it
Yeah.
with? A dip. Do you guys remember that Greek yogurt ranch dip I made that one time?
No, I wasn't heard that one.
We made it with Greek yogurt and ranch.
Wow.
And it tastes like, instead of using sour cream and, mayonnaise or whatever, it was
Now,
much
is it
better.
raw or
And then you
cooked?
got the protein too.
Is it raw or cooked? Because I heard cooked is worse because it has the sugar. The sugar comes out of it.
I'm talking about raw carrots.
Okay.
But either way, it's still not bad. Okay, what else we got? Some chips and salsa. What do you guys think about that?
Perfect.
Everything's the same thing.
Let's see. We could add some guacamole, some grilled chicken, some black beans to that. Some veggies, maybe some cheese or something. So there's nothing wrong with eating just an apple, there's nothing wrong with eating just a banana. But like I said, adding the peanut butter or adding something like that is gonna keep you satisfied longer. That's the difference. We're not trying to make healthy foods legal or illegal. We're just trying to make them work better for us. So now that we know how to make our snacks more balanced, let's look at another nutrient that makes a huge difference. Fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah, fiber. So fiber is one of the reasons some carbohydrates keep us feeling full much longer than others. This is one of my favorite nutrients, okay? Fiber is something that most Americans don't get enough of. And it's one of the biggest reasons whole foods are so good for us. The first benefit is that fiber keeps you full longer. Have you ever eaten like the donut or the sugary cereal? You felt hungry again an hour later. Now think about eating the oatmeal with the berries or vegetables with grilled chicken. Those meals tend to keep us satisfied much longer. Why is that? Because of fiber. It slows down the digestion. So that means the food will stay with you longer. Fiber is also great for your gut. It feeds the healthy bacteria that lives in your digestive system. So we'll continue learning every year about how important gut health is. digestion, but it's just good for overall health too. And finally, fiber can also help support steadier blood sugar. Remember the last week, the sponge demonstration, we talked about how the glucose enters the bloodstream? Well, fiber slows down how quickly those carbohydrates are broken down. So instead of a rapid rise in your blood sugar, it kind of just gradually releases it, slow and steady, so it doesn't get those spikes. Your kind of sugar just kind of stays steady. And that's what we really are looking for to keep diabetes under
This
control.
may seem like a silly question, but like cherry tomatoes, same health as the big tomatoes?
Yeah, sure.
Size?
Of course.
Thanks.
Let's see, another easy way is, the vegetables, getting the fiber from vegetables. You don't have to be fancy, you can eat frozen vegetables. Canned vegetables, are a last option, but if you have to, just rinse them or get the reduced sodium ones.
What are your thoughts on fiber supplements, like Metamucil or something?
Yeah, those are good too,
I mean, are they really needed? I mean,
if you're not getting adequate fiber in your diet.
okay.
Yeah. So this is more of like trying to add natural stuff in, making your diet more fiber friendly and that kind of stuff. Teaching you that kind of stuff, vegetables and other foods to add into your diet. But there's always that option to get that fiber out there too. Another way is, eating foods like beans, lentils, oats, berries, brown rice, quinoa, those type of whole grains. Those really have some fiber in them too. So like I said, I don't expect everyone to change their diet overnight. My challenge is to simply ask yourself, how can I add more fiber to this meal? Okay? Alright, so moving on, let's see. So we know that carbohydrates aren't the enemy. We learned that we compare them with carbs, pair our carbs with protein or healthy fats. And then we talked about why fiber is so important. But remember what I've been saying all class, don't eat naked carbs? If we're gonna pair our carbohydrates with something, what are we gonna pair them with? Protein, right? Very good. Let's talk about why protein is such an important part of every meal. So protein, it's the number one most satisfying nutrients we'll eat. It keeps us feeling full longer, which makes us less likely to be hungry again an hour later. Remember we talked about eating the apple versus the apple with peanut butter? Or the pretzel versus the pretzels with hummus? Those are reasons that it's more filling, because you've added protein. And protein also helps support your muscles. Last week we talked about the muscles are one of the biggest places in our bodies that use glucose. Keeping our muscles healthy throughout movement and adequate protein supports overall metabolic health too. You'll also notice that I have prevent spikes on this slide. So protein doesn't magically prevent spikes. It doesn't magically stop your blood sugar from rising. But when we eat protein along with carbohydrates, it does help slow the digestion. And it makes that rise of blood sugar more gradually than just if you were to eat the carbs by yourself.
I have a real problem getting enough proteins apparently. When I count them out, I'm always like, yeah, but what I should be eating.
Okay.
So how do I increase them without eating more?
So what kind of protein sources are you eating? What do you eat for breakfast for your protein?
For breakfast, it varies, usually a bagel with cream cheese.
So you're not really getting much protein there. So maybe sneak some protein in there. Hard-boiled eggs, or
Some cottage cheese, sometimes I'll eat cottage cheese.
cottage cheese, yeah, that kind of stuff. Just make sure that you're trying to sneak protein in every meal you can, every snack you can, everything, and it'll help. It really will.
Even though it's breakfast, you can use chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken also works in the morning, because it's not real.
I tried like doing the thing where you use so many proteins and at the end of the day, I'm like,
Yeah.
mine's way down here and everything else is way up there. I'm like,
The protein.
right, I feel like I'm doing right because I'm eating what they say eat, but
Yeah.
apparently the wrong diet. I mean,
So,
the wrong following the wrong thing.
Maybe try adding. Do you do beans? Beans are a really good source.
I like beans, I never think of breakfast.
Yeah, I know. That's one thing that Dr. Mahajan said to me one time. He said, "Why don't you guys try rice and black beans for breakfast?" Do you remember that?
Well, not only that, but he has told me in our meetings, one-on-one, he said, I eat beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He says,
Keeps them feeling full.
it's right to feel full and it has the protein.
He said, who made the rules that you can't have
Yeah.
beans for breakfast?
And that's what he's told
That's what he
me.
says.
You
Yeah.
don't think of that for breakfast.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for 100 years, we've been told they're dinner for lunch.
Americans have.
Yes, we were told.
People from Europe have not been told that.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so yeah, I get it all the time. How much protein should I eat? Well, everybody's needs are a little bit different, but in average, most adults should aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Do you think that you get that much, 20 to 30 grams per meal?
No, well, some meals, but, you know, if I'm doing a little thing on your phone where you have, you put in everything you eat and it tells you how many proteins, I never meet my protein goal. So
Well, maybe-
apparently I'm not eating the right things.
Maybe you can try adding the little things that we talked about, and like for your snacks, 10 to 15 grams is probably pretty good. You know, make sure you're, getting a nut butter, or, make sure your cottage cheese or Greek yogurt or something like that. Everything that you should eat should have some type of protein in it, a decent amount too.
Question,
Yes, ma'am.
what about if you eat too much protein? I tend to be the opposite extreme of having too much. Does that mess up
Does
anything?
that affect you at all?
I don't know, because I've always done it, So I was curious, muscle aches, pains, anything like that have to do with extra?
I don't
acid?
recall anything like that.
Okay.
Sometimes when we have too much protein, you should get your blood checked and stuff like that to make sure the muscles aren't releasing anything. But normally you would have pain or something. I would
Okay,
think.
it's fine, I'm not having, any symptoms, but I just noticed that I.
Are you active?
Yeah, very moderate.
That's good, because you definitely want to be active, when you're eating that much
Gym
protein.
3 days a week.
Well, that's
so-
good, then maybe you need that much protein, because you're more active, you're using it more, so.
Okay.
Maybe your body's craving more.
Unless you're eating a 12-ounce steak every night. I mean,
Yeah, but like we said, the protein from other sources too.
I just eat too big a portion is what I do. It's like, oh, walnuts? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have to be careful with that, portions, yeah.
Portions is the
I
problem.
would submit those labels on all foods, they have how many
Serving size.
grams of this, of all this
and
ingredients.
maybe for a little bit, maybe use a measuring cup or a little scale and just kinda feel it out.
Yeah,
I know most of mine is my palm.
those are good tools, yeah.
Yeah.
When you don't have those things available to use your hands. So what's everyone's favorite source of protein? What do you guys like?
Cheese, walnuts, cottage cheese, yogurt.
Okay.
Are we including meat in? there?
Yeah.
Beans,
We need pork chops.
Pork chops,
fish, chicken,
fish and chicken. Okay.
and meat.
Can anyone think of maybe a high protein, easy snack?
Oh, there's lots of beans.
Huh?
I eat lots of beans and packed with soups. And
Like a bean salad or something, that'd be good, huh?
I do that also when I make soup. Let's say I have canned soup, I add more beans.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. Absolutely. Okay, so we talked about carbohydrates, fiber, and protein. There's one more piece of the puzzle. It often gets a bad rep, but it's actually an important part of a healthy diet. Anyone know? Can guess? Healthy fats.
Healthy fat.
Yeah, healthy fats. So for years, right, people were told to avoid all fats. But today we know that's not true. Our bodies actually need healthy fats. The key is choosing the right kind of fats and enjoying them at reasonable portions. So healthy fats, what can they do for us? They can help slow our digestion, which means that we'll stay feeling full longer. That's another reason why I keep talking about pairing foods together. Think about a plain apple versus the apple with peanut butter. The healthy fat makes the snack more satisfying. So healthy fats, they also help support our heart, our brain, and our bodies to absorb certain vitamins. So instead of avoiding healthy fats altogether, we want to choose healthier sources. Some great examples, right? So we have avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, fatty fish like salmon and sardines,
Now, when you say seeds, like, what do you?
chia seeds, flax seeds.
Okay.
So, there's different avocados I
Yes,
see in the store.
there is.
Which one, is there one better than the other? Cause looks like you have a bigger one here. I see little teeny tiny ones.
Yeah, so I mean, either of them are good, but I think the Florida ones are a little bit better, the bigger ones.
Oh, really?
So, and you gotta think about it too, like, we wanna do more fresh produce because then we know that it's like sourced, or it's sourced at, it's got good, adequate light, we're gonna get vitamins from the sun and everything like that. So those type of things we wanna think about too when we're looking at our produce. More fresh, homegrown, local, organic is gonna be a better option with more vitamins and nutrients in it.
And local is the key word, because look at the iceberg lettuce from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna fill our bodies with something, it should be like top notch, right?
Wouldn't be iceberg lettuce.
No, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be, but
Not too much.
my mother thinks it was gold, but anyway.
Yeah, so one thing, to remember that healthy fats, they're still calorie dense. So a little goes a long way. You don't need a half a jar of peanut butter to go with your apple, you know, or a whole avocado every meal. Smaller portions will still give you those health benefits. Now let's think back to everything we learned today. We learned about carbohydrates, using our bodies using fuel, fiber helping slow the digestion, protein keeping us full longer, and now healthy fats doing the same thing. When you combine all those things together, that's where the magic happens. So we talked about all the pieces of the puzzle, let's put it together. We're gonna talk about the healthy plate method. Some of you might already know this. I know I gave out plates to everyone before, but I just love this so much. So it's my favorite tool because it takes away all the guesswork out of meal planning. You don't have to count every calorie or memorize complicated diets or rules. You just start by filling half your plate with a non-starchy vegetable, as you can see up there. Non-starchy, when I say that, I mean stuff like spinach, broccoli, green beans, peppers, cucumbers, or even a salad. Okay? Next, you want to do 1/4 of that plate with a lean protein. So we talk about lean proteins, chicken, fish, eggs, tofu, beans, all those type of things. Now the last quarter is for your healthy carbohydrates. You can do a sweet potato, you know, brown rice, quinoa, beans, whole grain pasta. So you notice that there's still carbs on the plate, right? But it's balanced. We're balancing them. We're not eliminating them. And then finally, choose water or a no-calorie beverage most of the time. So looking at this plate, what's the one vegetable that you would enjoy, that you would feel happy to plate up with?
Is that squash on the bottom?
It looks like squash, you know. Or any vegetable. What kind of vegetable would you fill your plate with?
I would like the squash.
You like that? Looks pretty good.
Can you replace the sweet potato with a russet potato or?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay. I would do that then.
Good, okay. So if you ever forget anything we talked about, remember, picture this, okay? Half your plate vegetables, right? One whole half vegetables. Then you got your other half to split between your protein and your carb. It doesn't have to look exactly like this meal, you know, but you guys get the idea. I'm gonna show you a couple other examples too.
I usually do chicken in a bowl with all that and quinoa, and I just have a bowl.
Okay, that works.
And,
Yeah.
and I sometimes put beans in it, depends on the mood.
Okay. Let's look at some more healthy plate examples. So everything we talked about comes together on one simple plate. So you notice half the plate's vegetables, 1/4 is lean protein, and 1/4 is a healthy carbohydrate. This way of eating is going to naturally give us fiber, protein, and healthy carbs without having to count calories or carbs. So the carbs didn't disappear, right? They're still there. They just have their own little section. Okay. can't eat mac and cheese. Sure you can, just don't let it take over your whole plate. So this is another good example. They have a small portion, and then they still have all their half greens on there.
Yeah, it's all spinach, wasn't it?
I think so, or collard greens or something. Okay, so we talked about carbohydrates, fiber, protein, healthy fats, and building the balanced plate. Now it is your guys' turn, okay? So let's look at the breakfast. Somebody tell me, what would you add, let's build breakfast together. What would you choose for your protein?
Baby.
Eggs, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Now what about, what do you guys think, whole grain? What would you choose for that spot? Your carbs?
Usually the bread I use.
Okay. And what about
Pork ribs.
anything else?
And then, oh, you're talking about,
For breakfast, anything else? Anything missing? There we go, a little bit of healthy fat somewhere, yep.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
She said avocado. So egg and avocado, that's good, yep. We got a nice little breakfast coming. All right, how about lunch? Who wants to pick the protein? Give me a protein for lunch.
Chicken.
Chicken, okay. Now what veggies are we adding?
Broccoli and carrots.
Broccoli and carrots, I like that, okay. Chicken, broccoli, carrots, okay. Now what carb should we eat?
I would like sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato? All right, should we add fat, healthy fat? What can we do? A little drizzle of olive oil or maybe a little avocado or something? Yeah, I think that would be good. Drizzle of olive oil over your sweet potato with some salt, pepper. Sounds good.
So
Okay.
what about coffee?
Coffee?
I haven't seen coffee on any of these. Is that a yes or a no?
Coffee's okay, black coffee. Just gotta be careful what you're sweetening it with. That's the key.
Green?
Cream? What's in the cream? Plain
Right,
cream?
you gotta read the label on the cream.
Make sure there's no added sugar. If you're just getting like half and half or something like that with no added sugar, then yeah, that's fine. But it's when we have the added sugars, that's when, because coffee can creep up on us, because the creamers, especially if
I
you're,
don't drink, mine is plain creamer.
okay, well that's good then, yeah, no, coffee's fine.
Like sugar in my coffee.
Yeah. So we just built a healthy plate right there, that easy, right? We included everything we needed, but we balanced it, we had carbohydrates on there, but we balanced it with protein, fiber, vegetables, and healthy fats. So, I just want you guys to not leave here thinking that you have to eat perfectly, because it's not about that. I want you to leave here asking yourself one simple question. How can I make this meal better? Maybe it means adding a little vegetables. Maybe it means choosing brown rice over white rice. Maybe adding some chicken to your pasta or peanut butter to your apple. Remember, we're looking for progress, not perfection. Small changes made consistently make a big difference over time. Okay, what is anyone having? Does anyone want to share what they're having for dinner tonight?
I'm having eggplant, stuffed eggplant.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Okay.
sounds good.
Well, it's gonna be like an eggplant lasagna. With
Okay.
chicken.
Nice.
I'm having barbecue pork chops with rice
And
and salad.
very good. I like that. Yeah, and salad in there.
Oh, I put spinach in everything, so even in that lasagna, I put spinach.
Good, good.
You and Popeye, huh?
Oh, yes, I can eat a whole bag of it. one
That's
day.
good. I love that. Okay, let's talk about snacks, right?
That's my problem.
A good snack isn't something that should hold you over until dinner. It's something that should give your body a chance to receive more nutrients that we talked about today, right? So think about snacks as mini meals. Instead of grabbing a bag of chips or a candy bar, ask yourself, can I include a carbohydrate, a protein, or a healthy fat in this snack? Remember my phrase from earlier? No naked carbs? That applies to snacks too. For example, I love the apple example. Try eating an apple with peanut butter. Add the crackers and the cheese, we talked about that. The hummus and the pretzels. Those is that when they're trying to eat healthier and control their blood sugar, is that they can never eat at a restaurant again. That's not true. Restaurants are not the problem. The problem is the choices we make when we're there. Let's look at a few common challenges. So restaurants, right? They have larger portions. They make the meals often big enough for 2 people. Most of us are taught to clean our plates, so we end up eating much more than we actually need. Sugary drinks, right? They always have soda, sweet tea, lemonades, or especially coffee drinks. And those always contain more sugar than a dessert most of the time. So choosing water or unsweetened tea or a 0-calorie beverage really does make a huge difference. Bread and chips, they love to bring those right before your meal so you can fill up on them, right? By the time your food comes, you've already eaten several hundred calories of, carbohydrates without even realizing it.
Right.
And carb-heavy plates, right? Many restaurants are built around pastas and rice and fries or bread with only small portions of protein and vegetables. So those can lead to what we know, large blood sugar spikes, and can leave you feeling hungry sooner.
Now, when I've been at a restaurant and they're giving me carbs, I ask for veggies.
Good. Yeah, you
And
can.
most of the time, except once in a while, they say no veggies, and I say, well, I'm leaving. And
No,
I left.
That's a very good option right there. Ask for veggies instead of, your fries or a side salad or something like that. That's great. I like that. Yeah, the good news is that you don't have to stop eating out, right? With a few simple strategies, you'll learn how to manage it when you're eating out. So let's look at some fixes that we can do to make our blood sugar more stable when we're eating out. So eating out doesn't have to derail your progress. Small changes can make a difference. Try eating your protein first. Eat the protein before you dive into those fries, pasta, or your bread. Protein keeps you feeling full longer and slows down how quickly carbohydrates affect your blood sugar. And then your veggies. Eat your veggies too, your protein veggies first. Start your meals with those because that's another simple trick. They're really high in fiber, which means they help fill you up and they can reduce how much of the higher carb food you'll eat later because you're already full on the vegetables. As for your sauce on the side, many sauces and dressings are loaded with hidden sugar, calories, and sodium. So by asking for them on the side, you can still enjoy it, but you can control how much you put on there. And like we said, skip the sugary drinks. Take half home. Restaurant portions they're huge. They're enough for 2 people. Before you even eat, box half of it up, so that way you're only tempted to eat that smaller half.
That's good.
Take it for lunch the next day. Yep, like I said, we're not aiming for perfection. Making 1 or 2 smaller choices each time you eat out, those will help change. Small changes will add up over time. So let's practice together, okay? Let's look at a restaurant meal and let's talk about how we can make it healthier. So here we go. All right, everyone, let's see how we can rescue this meal without taking away any foods that we might enjoy.
You can't improve that.
Oh, yeah.
If this is your lunch today, what are some simple changes you can make to make it more blood sugar friendly?
Take off the top bun.
Okay.
Take away the fries.
Drink
Good.
water instead of Coke.
Beautiful.
Or unsweetened iced tea.
Yeah.
Yes, those are all really good things. I didn't have the top bun thing, but I didn't think of that. That's a good one. Take off the bread and just eat the
That's
meat.
how I've been eating all my hamburgers that I'm hungry
Yeah.
for.
It's really good. Eat slower too, Y'all try to eat so fast.
I did learn that. I listened to Jason Richards on Facebook, and he tests his sugar with eating slower, and what you're just saying, eating good foods with it, because just eating a carb isn't the thing to do. Eat the protein with it.
Right, right. Good. Okay, here's another one. Imagine you're out with your friends at your favorite Mexican restaurant. You order chips and salsa and a large burrito and a margarita. Looking at this meal, what happened to your blood sugar? It's gonna spike, right? This meal has several things that will rise your blood sugar quickly. Chips before the meal,
Yeah.
a large flour tortilla, rice, and a sugary drink. Now, how can we rescue this meal?
What will the alcohol do
A
anything?
lot of sugar,
To
Oh,
keep it?
yeah.
loaded with sugar.
Now, the tortilla, does it really spike it? Cause I've eaten at, Tijuana Flats and I just had a burrito and it was fine.
Yes, everyone's a little different, but I mean, it is an extra carb that, do you really need it with the rice too,
Oh,
That's what
no,
it's
I
saying,
don't
it's
use the
two
rice,
things,
yeah.
So that's what the burrito looks like. So, let's see, how can we make it better? What do you think we could do?
I wouldn't eat the rice and I
Okay.
would just eat the burrito.
Okay,
I would just eat the inside.
yeah, there you go.
Outside.
Make it like a protein bowl like you were talking about, instead of having to have the tortillas too.
That takes away all the fun though.
Well, I think the tortilla then would take over the carb instead of
Yeah, you
the
have two,
rice.
the carbs there, yeah. So one small change, we could do the, a burrito bowl or that we talked about. Fewer carbs. Fajitas are another good option because they're loaded with grilled vegetables, so you're putting the vegetables on there. You could, skip the tortilla completely with the fajitas too and just eat the vegetables and the chicken. The chips, limit the chips that you're eating. Ask for more vegetables, you can always ask for more, or more side salad. And like I said, maybe water instead of that margarita, it has a surprisingly amount of sugar. So notice how we said, we can never eat Mexican food again, I didn't say that, just making smarter choices. Here's another one, right? Everybody loves Italian. This is Italian, yeah, okay. So imagine you're meeting with your friends at your favorite Italian restaurant. You order a big plate of pasta, the bread basket arrives, and there's sweet tea on the table. Looking at this meal, what could cause your blood sugar to rise?
I asked the waitress not to bring the bread.
Not to bring the bread, there you go, that's a good one. Exactly, the pasta isn't bad, but it's bad when it's a very large portion paired with bread and a sugary drink. That's a lot of carbohydrates all at once. Now here's a challenge. How can we improve that meal without giving up Italian food? What do you guys think?
Order your drink, get rid of the bread and ask for side salad.
Beautiful, that's wonderful.
Or unsweetened.
Yep.
sweets.
Yep.
Take some
Unsweetened,
of your-
watery, 0 calorie, yep.
And take
Side
some of
salad.
your, and take some of your spaghetti home.
Yeah, take some of it home, absolutely. That's beautiful. Restaurant portions are huge enough. Box up some of it before. Like I said, try boxing up before so that way you don't even know what you have left,
But I have to admit, you found some wonderful restaurants. You can tell me where these are, I appreciate it.
That looks really good.
I know, right?
The leg looks really good.
Okay, let's see, where are we?
Now, I will tell you, a lot of the waitresses look at you when you say the bread.
Oh, yes, I know. I had to put this one on here, right? Let's do one more quick example, right? So it's Friday night, you order a pepperoni pizza and a regular soda. Looking at this meal, what's it gonna do?
Spike it.
It's gonna spike it, definitely. What can we do? So eating the pizza, that's carbohydrate. So the pizza has more carbs in the crust and is paired with the sugary soda.
Wow.
Now, I have asked for the flatbread pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and
They
of course,
crust
I
something?
drink unsweetened iced tea.
Yeah, good. Okay, so yeah, exactly. Or a side salad, to eat with
And I
it.
do eat side salads.
Well,
Good.
you are eating cheese. You remember cheese was good with other things, right?
Yeah. That's good. And we got some meat on there, right?
So, yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
and I also
Works
asked
for
for
me.
individual.
You could add some veggies on the pizza.
And I asked for individual pizza,
Yeah.
not. a
So you don't
medium.
eat too much, yeah. And watch your portions too, instead of eating 5 slices, eat 1 or 2. And then what else can you do? You could go for a walk, right? 10 to 15 minute walk, you're having a carb heavy meal, go for a walk to burn off some of that extra energy. So we talked about balancing meals at home and at restaurants, but sometimes cravings can have nothing to do with what's on our plate. So let's talk about why we crave certain foods and how to manage those. Oh, sorry, that was a thing right here. So yeah, sometimes we don't always eat because we're hungry. Hunger, it always sends us to the kitchen. Sometimes we eat because we're stressed.
Yeah.
After work, we're bored watching TV, snack? Am I physically hungry, or am I just trying to solve a feeling? So physical hunger, that usually comes on gradually. And almost any kind of food sounds good at that point. Emotional hunger, that tends to come on suddenly. And then we're craving like a specific type of food, like chips or ice cream or cookies.
Yeah.
That's more of a physical hunger. Emotional hunger. So the goal is to never emotionally eat again. But the goal is to simply notice that when we're doing that and have the power to choose what we're eating, you know what I mean? Make it balanced instead of just reaching for something simple. So let's look at some of the common things that trigger it, right? So we all know that cravings happen, and sometimes they can happen just out of nowhere. It's not because we have no willpower, but there are triggers, right? So skipping meals, sometimes going too long without eating, our blood sugar will drop, and then our bodies will look for the quickest source of energy. And it's usually sugary carbs or higher carbs food. And that's why we encourage eating balanced meals every 3 to 4 hours, you know, a snack or something to keep your blood sugar steady. So poor sleep, even one night of bad sleep can increase hunger hormones and decrease the hormones that make you feel full. So that's why it's also important, you know, to get good sleep. And also why people crave sweets at night, especially after they had a rough night. And then we talked before about stress. When our body releases cortisol, it can increase our appetite and make comfort foods seem more appealing. So we've all experienced a stressful day, and then all of a sudden when we come home, we want like pizza or ice cream or something. Yep, this is what I'm talking about. And sometimes just restricted dieting. We tell ourselves we can never have bread again, or we can never eat dessert again, and then you just can't stop thinking about those foods, you know? So balance works better than perfection. That's what I'm just trying to prove to you guys today. So now we know the triggers, and we can start planning for them instead of feeling like we're fighting for them. Let's talk about how we can reduce some of those cravings. So the good news is there's some simple things that you can do that will naturally reduce your cravings. First thing would be to eat a balanced meal. When you combine everything we talked about today, like your proteins, your healthy fats, your fibers, your healthy carbs, your blood sugar stays stable, which means you have fewer energy crashes and fewer cravings. Second, increase your protein. We talked about that. So protein, we know, helps you feel full longer, and than just carbohydrates alone. It also slows your digestion, and that's going to prevent those rapid blood sugar spikes and crashes. And third, just eating consistently. Try not to skip meals, you know, don't wait till you're starving. When we don't eat for a while, we tend to overeat because we're overly hungry. And we reach for convenience foods that, you know, are easy to make or, you know what I mean, hot, and normally those are higher in sugar and refined carbs.
If I may ask, could that be like hypoglycemic? Because they break the total meals for the day into like 5 or 6 mini meals?
Yeah, if you have hypoglycemia, yeah, that would be a good idea to eat every couple of hours, 3 to 4 hours or so, just so you don't drop. And don't forget about stress and sleep, you know. Sometimes the best way to reduce cravings is just getting an extra hour of sleep, you know, or taking a short walk, practicing your deep breathing when you're feeling stressed, or finding other healthy ways to manage your stress. And just remember, cravings are not a sign that you failed or anything. It's just your body's way of telling you that you need something, whether it's food, rest, or a break. Okay, so this was the recipe. This is what we ate today. Our Mediterranean protein skewers. This is one of my favorite grab-and-go snacks because it literally takes less than 5 minutes to make. I simply layered, what I used was rotisserie-style lunch meat, cucumber, little cherry or grape tomatoes, fresh spinach, and then we had a little sprinkle of Italian seasoning and some balsamic glaze on top.
So, do you buy rotisserie chicken? Like a jelly?
You can, but I just used the lunch meat version. I got the boar's head lunch meat one.
And you can also do.
Any kind of protein would be great on it.
You can also use the chicken that comes in the meat department, that's already chopped up, and it's like grilled or And those are also,
They'll cut the lunch meat any size you want too. If you want it like dinner cut, like the thicker slices, they'll cut it like that too for you.
I used to know you could do it.
Yeah, you can do that. And so, yeah, so like the snack follows everything we talked about today. It starts with the protein. It includes veggies for the fiber. And then we didn't rely on crackers or chips to be satisfying. We had a little cucumber crunch in there, you know? It's a perfect balance of a snack instead of grabbing something processed. You can make some of these, several of them ahead, keep them in your fridge and grab them, you know, for an afternoon snack or even a little light lunch. And then the pudding, so that was our dessert makeover. So I wanted to end today's class by showing you that eating healthier doesn't mean giving up dessert. In fact, one of the best ways to make healthy eating sustainable is finding healthier versions of foods you already enjoy. So today was our banana Greek yogurt pudding. It was incredibly simple to make. We just had frozen bananas, let them thaw out for like 10-15 minutes. Threw them in the blender with Greek yogurt. I got plain Greek yogurt. You can also get vanilla if you wanted to, but I added my own vanilla and a little bit of honey. And instead of using those instant pudding mixes and whipped topping, this is a much better way. It adds protein, and then you're not getting any added sugar because it's just the sugar from the banana, so it's all natural sugar. And then notice that we topped it, we did do a little graham cracker crumble on there just to give it a little bit of, flavor. That's okay, every little now and then, because why? We had protein, right? We had protein with it, so that's good. And also we have healthy fats, because I added some walnuts in there. You could add some chia seeds to it too, I think that would be pretty good.
I also put granola.
Yeah, granola.
I chop up granola.
Yeah, that's really great too, yeah. So, remember when we talked about balance, right? So the dessert had all those things we talked about. It had the protein, the healthy fat, and the fruit. It was a much more balanced choice than a traditional dessert. And it was still delicious, right?
It was good.
Are you sold? Did you like it?
Yes.
What about you? Did you like it?
Very good.
Oh wow, thank you, okay.
I'm actually going to Publix to pick up some bananas.
Wonderful. So I encourage you to try it at home, please, and let me know what you guys think. It can satisfy that sweet tooth, you know? So as we wrap up today, I don't want you leaving here thinking that you have to change everything overnight. Instead, I want you to focus on 1 to 2 small changes that you feel confident that you can do. Let's look at our challenge, okay? So I know we covered a lot today, and like I said, don't expect everyone to change overnight. But remember, small changes practiced consistently are more powerful than trying to be perfect for a few days. So over the next 2 weeks, I want to challenge you to focus on just a few things. First, try building a balanced plate at least once a day. It doesn't have to be every meal, just practice. Remember our phrase today.
I don't know if it's her or mine.
What was our
Oh,
phrase?
it's not mine.
No making carbs. Ask yourself, anytime you're eating a carbohydrate, ask yourself, is there protein? Or what protein can I add? Or what healthy fat can I add? And then challenge yourself to add a vegetable to at least 2 meals a day. They provide fiber, vitamins, and they'll keep you feeling full longer. And please, I will encourage you always to take your walks. 10-minute walk every day after your meal, a couple times a week if you can't do it every day. That would be wonderful. And if you guys want to, take a picture of your meals. I'd love to see them. You can share them next class. We can discuss. So let's see. I also, over there, I have a really good recipe for a Mediterranean chicken bowl that I thought you guys might like too. If you wanted to pick it up, did you pick it up? You did? And I also have flyers for you, handouts for you guys too.
Oh, I didn't see that. These are good. Oh, I had this last night.
Okay, oh.
This is my flyers
Oh,
today.
okay.
I didn't have it last year.
Thank you.
Talks about, we'll talk about today, yeah.
Thank you.
I did, I had this last night.
So thank you guys all so much for coming. I hope that you leave here feeling confident, that healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated. Just remember, you don't have to change everything overnight. Just focus on 1 to 2 small changes over the next couple weeks. Our next class, oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we're gonna be talking about movement is medicine. We're gonna be learning how physical activity can help improve our blood sugar, increase energy, and support overall health. Wear something comfortable because we're gonna be doing a little Tai Chi walking demonstration, okay? Hopefully we'll have good weather, so we can do that outside. We'll probably do it outside or something, yeah. And like I said, if you guys miss any of my classes, there's my YouTube channel. Be sure to check that out, or if you want to check out some more material. Thank you guys for coming and have a wonderful class. Thank you, have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in class.
Thank you, Jen, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or anything? No? Oh, I have this too I should show you guys. I might have showed some of you guys might have seen from other classes, but I love these. This is my 2 examples of healthy plates.
Where do you get the bowls? Those are here.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I have one anymore. I'll find you one. So these are my 2 healthy plates, right? So this is a good version, right? I think I showed you this last time, 'cause I gave you a plate,
You
right?
did.
And this
Sure
is,
did.
yep. So this is what we have.
They've got a nice routine.
So this is like what most people eat, right? A huge
Right.
portion of pasta and like not much veggies, one little thing, right? This is what we want.
So this is the good, and this is the
This
not
is the
good.
good. That's what you're supposed to do, yes. See, this is the good plate, this is the bad plate.
Okay, because usually
Bad,
the
good.
spinach and broccoli is there, okay.
Yes.
Or,
But they don't even have any protein on this plate,
oh, I didn't even notice that.
right?
Yeah.
You got it? Oh, that's.
That's just with good chicken breast. You got anything like
Yep,
bad, good?
bad.
Okay.
I put spinach on everything, even my sandwiches now, I don't even use lettuce.
Good. You can sneak spinach and everything, it's great.
Oh, I do.
You guys are coming yoga
This
next
is a
class?
really good class, thank you.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Too bad some of the other guys that have been here are not here now, so.
Yeah.
I know.